Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
What's going on, folks? This is Steve with Race Day, and we are here for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. And oh my word, we are here today for Gateway, the worldwide technology raceway. And man, cannot wait to get this thing going. As we always say, the round of 8 is here for the championship. And man, it's going to get heated today. Very unique race today. We're going to start in the nighttime and then end in the sun. It's going to be a night into day. Going to get some awesome sunrise action right now. Cannot wait to get this thing underway. Big crowd as usual. Right now we're going to go down to qualifying, which is already underway. Let's take a look. There we go. Right now, Villalobos currently in 15th spot. Top of the board right now, Andrew Phipps, Jackson Anderson, Michael Johnson, Pearson Millerin. Your top 5 currently as they sit, but obviously a lot more cars to still go out. So far, so good. Tim Robb having a great lap right here. Can you reel on board real quick? Looking solid all the way around this place. James Kaufman had a great season so far, and man, just good efforts all the way around. Getting faster and faster in that 25. Love to see that. Blaze Crawford came into this round of 8, and I feel like he's got the most momentum. He's just really, really fast lately. And man, after the All-Star win a couple weeks back at North Wilkesboro, he's just putting on a clinic right now and looking pretty good. Frankie Barroso, here he is, going to come down here and qualify as well. Going to take it easy to get that lap. Nick Lights was fastest in practice a second ago, but right now only settled in for P6, so interesting right there for him. But as you see, yeah, a sunrise race. Typically, we have those, sunset races, right, night into day or day into night. And it's a nice sunset, right? Sun gets in the eyes, but this is going to be a little bit different. We do this really about once every season, and it just kind of changes it up, right? A lot of fun. So they're going to start off in cool conditions. Obviously, the track's going to be pretty well gripped up, at least initially. But then later in the race, as the sun comes up, and the sun will never come up fully, right? It's going to come up, but it's not going to be ever, too high or too hot. So track should be pretty well gripped up as the race goes on, but stage 3 should be pretty wild. Kenny Reel in P13 right here. Comes across. Not too bad. Blaze Crawford currently in 7th. Cannot advance that position anymore, so that's going to be it for him. Majority of the field looks like they have come out. A lot of drivers deciding to not qualify. Interesting. Weist, Barroso, Pont, Tim Robb, and Marshall Harris all not qualifying right now. So interesting call as we come down across the line. Hey, big shout out today too to Race Control. Normally it's Brandon Davis, and we always thank him for what he does for us. But Keegan Brown is going to be here today as Race Control for our season today, or not season, but the race today, excuse me. And looking forward to see how he can handle these boys, because they can be pretty rowdy. But here we go. That's going to be it right there for qualifying. Andrew Phipps will be your pole sitter. Awesome job there. Jackson Anderson, P3. Really good stuff. So obviously going to be a great time here. Right now, we're going to go down trackside once more and introduce you the grid for today's race. Take a look. And there he is, Andrew Phipps, right now going to be your pole sitter. Looking good in that number 22 machine, always does. Very fast. Man, came really close to winning Atlanta. Not Atlanta, excuse me. I believe it was Charlotte earlier in the season. And man, he can definitely have what it takes. Jackson Anderson, a P2 on the outside. Very strong performance there. Obviously not in the championship, but he is going for that contender playoff championship, and that can definitely mean a lot as well. Michael Johnson, his competition, there he is in P3, also going for that contender series championship. Roger Pearson, P4. Jeremy Millerin, an awesome run right there, starting off in P5. Good to see him on track and looking fast as always. Nick Lights, watch out for him today. We've got some cool stuff coming for that Hosky.io machine and Cardano later on in the race. We'll show you that later on. Blaze Crawford, P7. Christian Angel, there he is, rolling off P8. Devin Smacker, P9. And that Gatekeeper, looking really good today. Man, Gatekeeper right now is a Cardano project designed to turn your NFTs into tickets and access passes to real-world events. Really cool stuff. Go and check them out, folks, on all the social medias. But Gatekeeper, the sponsor of today's race, the 150. Man, these guys are pretty awesome. So, great paint scheme, too. Joseph Mealy going to be rounding off in top 10. Drip drops on the machine, looking good. Matthew Fleming snuck his way into the playoffs in the round of 8. And there he is, looking to get a good finish today. Dunkelberger going to be in P12. His teammate there looking pretty good. Kenny Reel rolling off 13th. Brandon Bowie, there he is, rounding off in P14. Austin Salyer's 15th spot. Mark Whitley in that purple and green. Can't miss that car, right? Number 16 on the pits there. Richard Woodruff, Villalobos, Kaufman, and Daryl Young looking good right there. Tim Robb, 22nd. Frankie Barroso back at the field here in 23rd. Matthew Ponce filling in for actually Jamie Graham. So normally we see him in the 1 machine, but today he's going to be in that 62. So in that Hosky, looking good today. And then Marshall Harris, not even on track, but in 25th. So we'll see if he gets to go back onto the track right now. But here we are. 120 laps. Pretty quick race, actually. This is going to be pretty fast. This track has been known for some crazy racing. Obviously, it's not the easiest place, especially in these cars. So we'll see how they can operate this today. But here we go. 120 laps, stage 30 will be the first stage. Here we go. Going to get it underway right now. Starter has the green flag, and we're green for the Gatekeeper 150. Already some gnarly moves being made. Miller going to block Blaze Crawford right there. This turn right here, 1 and 2, is so difficult. We saw that last night in the Nora Truck Series race, if you were there for that on race day. And man, it was pretty wild. And look at this, all down the backstretch. Too wide. It's the best time to start passing cars. So far, what a great job right here. Man, Andrew Phipps did not get the great restart right there on the initial start, but Jackson Anderson leads the field right now. Roger Pierce, Nick Lights. 3 drivers right now that could really use a solid race today. Anderson has looked very fast, obviously. Young driver, a lot of talent. Just hasn't quite gotten into that win column yet. And right now, definitely might see that happen today. Roger Pierce as well. bad luck day in and day out. But man, he's got what it takes. He's fast. Look at this. Gonna make a move here for Jackson Anderson in turn 1. And this is no slouch right here. Roger Pierce gonna come down low. Oh no, Pierce gets around. Spins it into his teammate, Christian Angel, in a yellow flag. I don't believe that was the cause of the yellow. We'll take a look back. Getting word perhaps that maybe it's Austin Salyers, or I saw a purple car in the back spin out. Could have been Smecker. I'm not too sure. We'll go back and take a look. See if we can find out real quick. But lap 4, first caution. Like I said, we're going to see it quite a bit. Here we go. Oh, Dunkelberger spins out kind of at the same time as Pierce. Interesting call there, how the yellow came out. I don't believe we saw anybody else go around, unless somebody else in the back went around as well. We'll take a look at Salyers here. I know I saw a purple car sideways. Oh, there it was, Mark Whitley. Yeah, so Whitley perhaps goes around here or gets tagged. We'll take a look. Oh yeah, him too. Super minor damage there for Whitley, so not going to be a huge deal, but man, that's tough. Basically 3 simultaneous wrecks at the same time. 3 drivers getting loose. Pierce, Whitley. Pretty wild stuff. Normally we don't see that at the same time, but all good. Alrighty, so first caution of the day, lap 4. We told you in the pre-race, this track is going to be pretty wild. And I mean, right now it is nighttime, but the track is green, right? So not a lot of laps put on it under practice. A lot of guys still obviously having to put the grip on the track. So we're not quite there yet as far as a gripped up track, but a lot can still happen. So right now, Anderson is your leader. Nick Lights, Phipps, Johnson, and Angel all in the top 5. And this is a short race for a reason. 120 laps. This track is, or at least can be, pretty treacherous, right? And right now, 30 laps will be the mark to get to that first stage. Pretty quick race overall. So this kind of acts as a sprint, more or less. And then next week, we're off to Bristol. So that'll be pretty interesting. The finale coming up in about 2 weeks at Homestead, Miami. Going to be a lot of fun, a lot of cool things coming up. Can't wait to get this thing underway. Right now, this is the Choose, unfortunately getting word that, hey, Keegan Brown, our awesome new race control for the night. Man, that the Choose car, not sure if it got an oil change or didn't pass inspection. I don't know, but the car is having some issues right now, so it's all good. They're going to choose right there. We're not going to have the actual Choose car for you today, but they chose up high for the outside lane and down low for the inside lane, and off we go. So this is going to be it right here. Not as flashy as we always like to see, and hey, this I guess with this we can't see anybody hit the Choose car, right? So that's a good day because once in a while that can happen. Either way, right now pace car lights are off. Going to go back green here on lap number 8. About 22 laps to go before we hit the stage 1 finish. Big thanks again to Gatekeeper. On board, Devin Smacker's car right there, looking pretty good. The Grimace, as he put it, all purple car, looking pretty solid. Big thanks to them again for coming on board today. Pretty good stuff right now. So, hey, Jackson Anderson up front. I know it's early, but man, if we see a Jackson Anderson win today, I'm not going to jinx it, but that would be pretty huge. Nick Lights on the inside row. Again, really, really good driver. Has not won this season, Nick Lights, so that could change today as well. A lot of these guys in the front five, really the top seven, a win would be massive. So good stuff. Here we go. We're going to go back green here on lap number 8. And off we go. Diving down into turn 1 and turn 2. This is Calamity Corner. We're going to hear that a lot tonight. Big wrecks out of turn 2. It's so loose. You really can't hit the gas. Mark Whitley into the wall right there again, but you really can't get back into the gas until you're straight here. It's so difficult. Turns 3 and 4, not too bad. All about kind of middle corner speed. But turns 1 and 2, getting into turn 1 is not too bad. It can be kind of tight getting down in there. And they're going to ride above that black seam as you see, that secondary line. That's the fastest way around, but exit of turn 2 is super, super loose. And it will only get looser as the race goes on. So not too bad right here. Nick Lights. Look at this in that Hosky.io. Let's ride on board real quick and show you a lap around. There we go. We're going to do a Hosky.io hot lap. Here we go around Gateway as he gets the lead right here. Still battling Jackson Anderson. Going to come up a little bit. We're going to see that a lot. They're going to dive down low and come up. Still side by side to Jackson Anderson. A drag race down into turn 3. And he has the preferred line right here. Coming into turn 3. Going to get that rotation. Jackson, though, he is fighting for it. And Michael Johnson going to go with him. Has the preferred line entering turn 1 on the outside lane. You'll see Nick Lights going to dive down low right here. But it's so hard. That car wants to spin out right here. You'll see a lot of oversteer. There it is. And super, super loose. Big thanks to Hosky, obviously, for that Hosky hot lap. We'll get a few more of those in today. But good stuff at the front of the field here. Nick Light's going to get clear of Jackson. Going to get that first lap lead of the day. Looking pretty good. P2 up for grabs right now. Michael Johnson, Jackson Anderson. These two right now are going for that contender playoff battle. Keep that in mind too. Everybody in green on the left side of your screen, they're going for that championship, right? The #1 driver championship in the season. But 8 more drivers are going for that contender series. And that's basically a secondary kind of best of the rest playoff battle. A lot of these guys are going for that too. Blaze Crawford, P4 right now, making a move around. Andrew Phipps, there he goes. Dunkelberger as well, and Christian Angel. Solid job right now, and Joseph Mealy right there in the back, looking for a solid day today. Good stuff so far. Lap number 13, we're going to get our way down into this. Teammates side by side here. Roger Pierce and Daryl Young. Loving these two paint schemes right here, courtesy of Harpoon Design. Hey, go and check them out if you want to. Trucks, Cups, Xfinity, all of them. Go and check them out. Great paint schemes, obviously. Always solid. Oh, there he is right there, Brentley in the chat. Good to see him. Good stuff all the way around. Daryl Young, obviously, was eliminated from playoff contention last week, but so far still a good season. Has a win at Talladega. Tim Robb, Jacob Wiest, teammates right here for Apollo, also got eliminated from playoff contention, but I'll tell you what, just to make the playoffs this season, in your first season, is very, very good. They love the league and we love them, and they're going to be superstars in the making for sure next season. So Awesome to see, as always. A couple of moves right here in the back of the pack. Not really in the back, in the front, actually. Excuse me. Devin Smecker making a move. Yellow flag, though, is out. What happened here? Oh, in the back, Villalobos. Don't see a lot of damage to that number 45. Oh, the front end actually is pretty well beat up. Unfortunate. What happened to Villalobos here? Let's find out. Oh, he's already in trouble right there. Go back a little bit more and see if we can find out. Here he is right here behind Frankie. Teammates right here. Oh, he just gets loose. Yeah, tries to correct it. Gets into his teammate right there, Woodruff. And unfortunately, that'll bring out a yellow every single time. So, tough spot right there. I mean, again, turn 2. Turn 2 is just super hard. You really have to exit turn 2 straight, right? You have to really unwind the wheel as you accelerate. And, yeah, that right there is just a bad break for Villalobos, obviously. So, all good nonetheless. He'll get that car fixed and should be able to still go. Get some points, obviously, and get it back going. But right now, lap 17. A couple more drivers down pit road. Woodruff, Tim Robb, Jacob Weist, teammates down here. Oh, Woodruff actually got a bigger hit on that than I expected. Look at that. Front right. Wrinkled nose right there. So not terrible, but definitely enough to affect the aero on that car. So long way to go still, though. Just about a little under 100 laps to go. So this race is quick, and we're going to get it figured out right now, but so far so good. Is the race control Canadian? No. He's not, actually. He is from South Dakota. Keegan, talked to him earlier. Really cool guy. Hey, race control is one of those things, man, that I do not envy. I did it for a season here for ASRA. What was it? Season 4? Season 3? Season 4? And yeah, that was pretty wild. But a lot of respect for him, and big thanks to him for coming in clutch for tonight. So far, so good. Right now, lap 18. We're still in the yellow flag for our second caution of the day. Villalobos getting spun around. Going to go at least about 2 more times here. Let's take a step out real quick and talk to our sponsors and thank them for all they do for us. We'll come right back, folks.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Alrighty, welcome back, folks, to the Gatekeeper 150 for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. Working the second caution of the day. Quick spin out there by Villalobos, but no harm, no foul, really, and gonna get some drivers here. Marshall Harris, the only driver right now, 4 laps down. Looks like he didn't make the start of the race, so 4 laps down. Can still make that up, obviously, with the stages and some more yellow, so not out of this thing just yet. Michael Johnson being shown off the track, actually. So, and we know Johnson has had some pretty wild connection issues throughout the season, and that's honestly in part to him not being able to make the playoffs. So, tough break for Johnson, obviously, but That can happen. Gonna go back green here on lap number 20. And we will have 10 laps to go before the end of stage 1. Here we go, back green. For the Gatekeeper 150, we are back. Nick Light's going to take it in P1. Blaze Crawford and Anderson going to be right there as well. Alongside Anderson. Smecker making his way back to the front. A lot of these guys too, I mean, keep in mind, right? Like Frankie Barroso, he comes into this race right now as the top driver in the point standings. 14 points to the good. Brandon Bowie, the same thing, 13 points to the good. So these two guys, they can't necessarily afford to have bad stages. But Frankie right here as well, currently in 13th spot. These boys need to get themselves into a position to get the stage points, and they are on their way. So far, though, great racing. This is the thing. Gateway can provide some awesome stuff because of the multiple lanes, especially in 1 and 2. The biggest trick, though, is to get around all of the just how difficult this track is, right? Mark Whitley right here in P8 had an issue earlier where he spun out, but didn't really have any issues. Right now up to P8, so good stuff right now. 25 car field. I'll tell you what, I mean, not a bad number considering we're 3 races left to go in the playoffs. It's always nice to see full commitment, and a lot of these drivers still sticking it out, even though, you know, most of them don't have anything to really fight for, right? You know, championship or, you know, things like that. But as I always say, hey, you know, try and go for your first win. You know, your first top 5, your first, you know, whatever it is. It can happen. Oh, man, hard hit right there. Who was that? I think that was that Pont in the back right there? It was. Subbing in for the 62 of Jamie Graham. Big hit on the exit of turn 2. Pancaked the wall a bit, but car seems like it's still driving straight, so that's a good start. Kenny Reel, Austin Salyers diving down into turn 1 right now. I'm seeing a lot of these guys, like, look at this, Kenny Reel, they kind of start down low, and then they move up high, and they make it work. It looks like the entrance in that kind of middle lane of the bottom in turns 1 and 2 isn't as loose as maybe I expected it to be. Nighttime conditions obviously help, right? There's more grip in the track, but good stuff right now. Millerin having a great day today. Right now, Dunkelberger going to be trying to get around him right here. Oh, Dunkelberger gets up right there. Couldn't tell if he got loose or tight, but going to be 3 wide. Going to try and salvage it. Oh, lordy. Mark Whitley going to be in trouble here. Goes around. So far, no yellow. Going to get it back going. That was off the track. Again, not really any damage. I don't see a whole lot right there. He did a great job by keeping that off the wall, at least off the wall intensely. But so far, man, what a rough race for Mark Whitley, your Season 4 champion. But that was 3 wide. It all started really when Dunkelberger got loose around Millerin, and they kind of forced it all 3 wide. That can happen. Up front, though, Nick Lights is right now lights out. Hate to say it. Looking pretty good right now. Up front, we're seeing Johnson up front as well. He's a lap down, though. I believe actually multiple laps down. Let's take a look real quick and see if we can find out. And there he is, 1 lap down right now. So, again, connection issues for him. Usually is the case, but if he can salvage being out front right here, he'll be able to get that lap back. At a minimum, he'll be that lucky dog candidate. But lights right now, Crawford, Smecker, your top 3. All looking pretty solid. Anderson still holding on to P4. Dunkelberger 5th. And right here, a whole lot of drivers in the back. Getting pretty wild. Brandon Bowie getting through the field a lot better than his teammate, Frankie Barroso. Frankie was not having a lot of luck right there, but Bowie is doing great. Getting through the field in P8 right now. Frankie is currently in 11th spot. Going to make a move here for Joseph Mealy, and that'll give him back P10. So he'll be in that spot. But Nick Lights, here he is. But awesome job for Nick Lights. Going to come around here. And so far looking very good. The Hosky hot lap. And man, he has looked hot right now. On board Nick Lights. Going to come around here and going to get the stage 1 victory. Awesome stuff right there. There it is. Stage 1 has concluded. And Nick Lights is going to be your stage 1 winner. Awesome stuff for him. Came in looking pretty good, right? As far as playoffs. He's actually, he entered this race even with Mark Whitley. Both have 14 points entering with the playoff points that they accrued. So right now, that's huge for him, right? You get 1 extra playoff point right here. You get 10 points. Mark Whitley had the issues earlier on, and he had 0 stage points. So that right there, folks, is 10 points. That can be huge. But here we go. Nick Light's going to be leading the field onto pit road. They all come down that access road in turn 3. And here we go. We'll talk to Nick Lights in just a second. Your top 5, actually the top 10 for the stage. Lights, Crawford, Smecker, Anderson, Dunkelberger, Phipps, Robb, Pierce, Bowie, and I believe that was Frankie Barroso who got the top 10. So Tim Robb actually stays out right here. Interesting call. We'll watch that in just a second. But right now, everyone coming down pit road. Whole world comes down right here. Seeing some big moves right here. Smecker. A couple of guys, but for the most part, all of them taking 4 tires and fuel. And off we go. Great stuff right here. Let's bring in Nick Lights if we can real fast. Let's get him in here. Where's old Nick Lights? Where is he? Aha. Hey, here he is, Nick Lights right now, the stage 1 winner. Looking very fast today as usual. Man, could this be the day, dude, that you get that first win of the season and advance yourself into that championship 4?
Yeah, man, I hope so. We got a fast Husky Ford Dark Horse here tonight. It's a new paint scheme we're unveiling, so I'm happy about that. I don't know, it's been a while, I think, since I got a stage win, so I hope we can pull it off and be in victory lane by the time this is all over.
Yes, sir, man. Looking pretty good. How's the track feel? We saw some loose conditions at the start of the race, but do you expect the track to grip up at all as we kind of get into the morning time, or what do you expect as far as handling?
Yeah, I did a practice yesterday. It started out definitely a little freer on that nighttime side, but once the sunlight started coming up, it started to grip up a little bit. So that's what I'm trying to expect here today. We'll see how it goes, though. You know, changes throughout the practice session and onto the race, so we'll see how it goes, I guess.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, great stuff. We'll let you get back to your team, and good luck, man.
Thank you. Love you.
Nick is always a character. We love him. But here we go. Your stage winner, Nick Lights, and We saw Tim Robb right there as well. So we actually pulled a classic move. He stayed out right there, got that lead lap, or got that that lap led to get the 1 point. And then he's going to come down pit road and get the fuel and tires like he normally would. But that's a smart move. It's a heads-up move. Get yourself in position to get that 1 extra point, because keep in mind, he worked his way into that contender bracket. Very, very smart. So far, so good, though. Great race. Stage 1 has concluded. Stage 2 will end on lap 60. So this is going to be a little bit shorter, obviously, because of how Stage 1 ended right here. So lap 35 will go back green. About 25 laps to get to stage number 2. So, again, a short race. This track, though, always provides a good time. And right now, we're going to get down to it. Third caution of the day, obviously, but only 2 for incident so far, 1 for that stage. So, front of the field, Nick Lights and Devin Smecker looking pretty good. Pierce is back up to the front after his spin out earlier in the race. And here we go. Going back green here on lap 35. And off we go. Good stuff. Nick Lights entering turn 3. Very solid job right now. 2x2 in the back. About to be 3, 4 wide maybe. Frankie Barroso right in the middle. Looking pretty solid. Going to dive it down low here to Mealy. Oh my word. Great stuff right there. Brandon Bowie also in the mix right there as well. The restarts are the best time. Oh, Kaufman in the back. Just about to say the restarts are the best time to pass drivers, right? Everyone's so bunched up, but that right there looks like it was Kaufman and Michael Johnson. See some damage there on Kaufman, but not a whole lot there for Johnson. Yeah, looks pretty solid. A little scratch on the left side there, but overall, not too bad. Take a look back and see what happened here between Kaufman and Johnson. Ooh, Kaufman maybe just got loose right here. I have to go back a little bit. Yeah, you can see it. Didn't get hit by anybody. Blaze is right there, and Anderson. Yeah, tough break. Not sure why, to be honest, why Anderson and Crawford were even back there. We'll have to find out, because they were up front at the end of that stage, so we will track that down for you. So we will find out. I do know that a couple drivers got EOL'd because of pit stall violations. They drove through too many pit stalls. And I'm wondering if that was Jackson and Crawford. We'll find out here for you in just a second. But right now, Nick Lights is obviously your leader under our third caution for incident right now. So a couple drivers going to be coming down pit road. Anderson and Johnson fixing their cars real quick. Not a lot of damage, but obviously you better fix it now before it gets too crazy out there. In lap 38, we're seeing Nick Lights take control of this race. We saw him win 2 times last season in Season 5, and right now, Nick has just not gotten into that win column this season so far. He's come close, very, very close, but just couldn't get it. And, but very fast has gotten himself into the playoffs, obviously. He was the #1 driver in the rankings, the #1 in the points for the longest time, until Brandon Bowie snuck out right at the end of the line there at the regular season end of it, and took it over. So Nick Liza's had a very consistent, very fast season so far, and but just hasn't gotten that win yet. So that might be coming though today. He looks like the fastest car on the track for sure. But Devin Smacker, I think, has something to say about it too. He is right there. And keep in mind, the winner of today's race, if they are a championship driver, they lock themselves into that championship 4. That's a huge move right there. They can bypass Bristol next week, as we all know can be pretty wild. So good stuff. Okay, so did get confirmation. Blaze Crawford was one of the drivers who got EOL'd for driving through too many pit boxes. That can happen for sure. Jackson Anderson, not too sure. Looks like he might have had his own little issue on pit road, but some of these drivers, hey, you know, they know the rules, right? But you know, you get a new race control in, you know, and you try and you try and squeeze around the rules a little bit, but not saying that was the case today, but you never know. So right now they're all choosing right here. They moved the choose position to the start-finish line, so there that is. And again, for those just joining, obviously we normally have the choose car, but there was some shenanigans involving the choose car. So we don't have that accessible today for us, but it is all good. We can still follow the same process. But here we go, lap 40. Gonna go back on lap 41. 19 laps to go here before stage 2 ends. And so far, pretty good race. 3 cautions. A third into this race already. So it'll go by here pretty quick once we get it back going. Sunset, not quite or sunrise, excuse me, not quite happening just yet. I expect the sunrise to happen in about 15 minutes. That'll be a lot of fun as we begin stage 3. That's when it should be getting pretty wild here. But here we go. Nick Lights, Smacker back in the front. Going back green. Here we go. Awesome job. Everyone coming down into turns 1 and 2. The grip level starting to get up right here. We're seeing almost 3 wide in the back. And these guys got to be careful here. Once they get through those first couple laps, it really starts to even out. Oh, Tim Robb slideways in the back. Keeps it going, keeps it off the wall as well. Man, awesome job for him to keep it off there. Good stuff. Great angle here, entering into turn 1 and turn 2. The sunrise will happen right there on the exit of turn 2, and you can almost see a little purple right there, so we are getting closer and closer to that sunrise setting. Just saw, it looks like Blaze Crawford got off track a little bit out of turn 2, and he continues to keep it going. Good job right there. Lap number 42, some battles in the back right here. Michael Johnson back onto the lead lap. Jackson Anderson right there as well. So far, a pretty good job right here. Anderson going to dive down in. He has the preferred line here, but the funny thing is that Johnson has the preferred line for turns 3. So he's going to try and dive his way into there. And there he is. Not a bad job. Salyer's right there. Going to be the meat in between the sandwich right now. Going to get past here. Maybe on both sides. No, doesn't happen. Johnson going to get back to about 16th. Roger Pierce looking extremely fast right now. Up to P2, just past Smecker. I'll tell you what, this could be the day for a lot of these guys. I mean, look at this top 5, top 6. Nick Lights hasn't won a race in over a season. Pierce hasn't won a race ever, believe it or not, even though he came so close to being champion last season. Smecker, we know, just won a race last week to advance himself into this round, but Phipps and Millerin, oh my word. Brandon Bowie right here hasn't won a race since Kentucky earlier in the season, but obviously has been very fast and also is your regular season champion, so looking pretty good there. Starting to fan out. Christian Angel in the 3. Fleming right now diving on the outside, going to try and pass Mealy here up high. This is for P11 right now, so not a bad start. Fleming enters this race with 2 points from the playoff points. So right now he's minus 12. So Fleming and Dunkelberger, these guys are down 11 and 12 points entering this round. They're already below that cutoff, right? So they really need a super good race here and in Bristol next week to advance into that championship 4. But keep in mind, a win gets them in automatically, so you never know what can happen. Good stuff nonetheless. Back of the field, we're still seeing Woodruff back here. James Kaufman. Car looks pretty decent right there. We're seeing some movement up front right here. Looks like Millerin might have had an issue. Oh, a little loose right there out of turn 2. Keeps it going. Got real close right there to Mark Whitley. I'm not sure if he's trying to do a side draft or something, but definitely pretty tight amongst those guys. But 3 playoff drivers right there. Barroso, Bowie, and Whitley. All serious contenders for this championship. And they're trying to get themselves back to the front. And right now they're doing it. 6th, 7th, and 8th right now for these guys. Whitley needs stage points right now. Bowie and Frankie Barroso, not necessarily, but it'll help, obviously, right? Anything to ease the pain of Bristol next week. Austin Salyer's getting word. Might have been off track right there a little bit. See if we can find out what happened real quick to him. Austin Salyer's got loose. Hold on to it into the grass, and off he goes, but kept it straight. Nice job, no caution, and no fenders wrinkled. So good stuff right there for Salyers. Three wide here. Oh, but a yellow flag. Looks like this is Tim Raw potentially. Yes, it is. Oh, hold on to those brakes. I think that might have sent Pont around. It did. Oh, lordy. That can happen, though. Let's take a look back. I think that was just a solo car incident besides the after effect. Let's take a look. Tim Robb right here. Okay, so he's by himself. Looks like it might happen here in turns 1 and 2. Villalobos in front. Oh yeah, just got in kind of deep right there. Keeps it off the wall. Awesome job right there. Yeah, spins around a little bit. Yeah, no harm, no foul, I think, to Pont. Yeah, he keeps it off the wall too, so all good. Tim Robb keeps it straight right there, so no damage it looks like to his car, but obviously a spin out. Very similar to what we saw with Villalobos earlier on. Solo car spin, but either way, yellow flag is out on the track on lap number 51. So we're getting pretty close to the end of stage 2, and look at this. Roger Pierce going to come down pit road right here. I like this move a lot, right? He's not in the playoffs, so he can kind of, you know, doesn't really need the stage points, right? He can kind of just come out here. Look at this too. Anderson, Johnson, Millerin, all these guys come down, get their fresh tires. Maybe you kind of baby them these next, 8-9 laps, and then you stay up front for the beginning of stage 3. Might not be a bad move. Either way, right now, lap 51, under our 5th caution, really just our 4th caution for incident. We'll step aside for a second, thank some sponsors, and we'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like doggy bowl empty, Vegas pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
Welcome back, folks. This is the Gatekeeper 150 here in Gateway. So far, a fantastic race. Good racing, honestly. I mean, Gateway can be one of those, hectic races, especially in the playoffs, but so far, a fantastic time. Big thanks, obviously, to Gatekeeper being on board today's race. Gatekeeper, by the way, is a Cardano project designed to turn your NFTs into tickets and access passes to real-world events. So definitely go and check them out on X, formerly known as Twitter, and all the other social media platforms. But they're cool people. And we love to have them on board right now. So good stuff. So far, good race. Lap number 53. Keep in mind, stage number 2 will end on lap 60, but if we get a caution within the 5 laps, that'll count as the stage. So good stuff. Look at all the green on the left side of your screen. All 8 championship drivers find themselves in the top 10, and that is pretty cool stuff. Here we go. Back green right here. Gonna decide stage 2 here momentarily. Nick Lights, Devin Smecker up front, as well as Bowie and Phipps. Here we go. Back green. Inside lane gets an awesome restart right here. Bowie gonna be down low. Might get a good run right here, but has to hold on to it. It's so tough on the down low here. Good stuff right there. Side by side, little door bang right there against Smecker. Bowie is not gonna waste any time getting back to the front right here, and there he goes. Holding on to it, little door bang maybe for Smecker himself, but there he goes. P2 for Bowie. Andrew Phipps, your pole sitter. Man, good stuff right now. Uh-oh, Austin Salyers, I believe, comes off off of turn 2 again. Just like we saw a little earlier, but all good. And look at this. Comes around, Nick Lights. We're going to give you the cool camera angle here. Look at this. The sun is starting to rise right here. The lights will come off here shortly. And look at that off of turn 2. Purple skies, awesome stuff right there as we get deeper into the morning. Smecker gonna make a move here, down low to Bowie. There he goes, gets around. Look at this, 2x2. Frankie, for a second there, got pretty well in danger. He's down lower now, currently in 9th spot. Trying to go for those stage points. And can't quite do it just yet. Still holding on to it. These points mean everything for these guys to get themselves into that next round for the championship. Dunkelberger moving forward as well. Blaze Crawford. And look at Mark Whitley, man. After his 2 issues, right now up to P4. Super good stuff for Whitley. This goes to show how dominant he can be and how fast he is on track. So good stuff there for him. Your pole sitter, Andrew Phipps, currently in P5. A lot of these guys making their way through. Starting a single file out right now, which is good, but the bad news is we're 2 laps away from stage 2. Lap 59, Nick Lights right here, looking very, very good. Smecker got around Bowie, so that's second. Bowie in third. Crawford fourth, but everyone else behind, it's up for sale right now. Whitley going to try and dive down low to Phipps right here. Looks like he might sneak away with that 5th spot. We'll see, but Nick Lights crosses the line. He is your stage winner once more. And at the line, looks like it was Andrew Phipps who got that 5th spot. So good stuff right there. Nick Light's going to be your stage winner once more. And there he is, man. That Cardano Hosky machine looks mighty deadly tonight. Looking very good, has won both stages. Very, very strong stuff. Top 10 for the end of stage 2 is Nick Lights, Smecker, Bowie, Crawford, Phipps. Top 5, and then Whitley, Dunkelberger, Angel, Barroso, and Pierce. Your top 10 there, all getting stage points. That's good stuff right there. So awesome job for Nick Lights. They're going to all come down pit road in just a second and service their cars. And man, what a good race. And just like that, hey, we're halfway. Lap 61. And guess what? Look at this sky. Sun's starting to come up. Stage 3 is going to be a little bit interesting, right? Because we're going to see a lot of these guys having to deal with that sun, right in their eyes on the exit of turn 2. We thought turn 2 was bad earlier, but man, right now it's going to get pretty wild as we start off the second half of this race. Always a fun time, just like we expected. Pierce and Johnson, all these guys going to be staying out since they just pit about 9 laps ago. Everyone else, though, and there we go. Look at this. Jackson Anderson going to lead off these drivers. Good move right there for him. Everyone else, though, comes off of pit road. Different strategies, obviously, but this is going to change a lot, right? We're seeing Pierce, Johnson, Daryl Young up front, Mealy, Millerin, and a lot of these guys. This is cool stuff. We're going to see a lot of different strategies from here on out for the second half. The front, what's that? Front 6 really have about 8 lap-old tires, and everyone behind them has brand new tires, but they have the track position, so that might mean a lot for them. But so far, pretty cool stuff. Have about 2 laps to go here before we get to stage 3 and get this second half of the race underway. We'll step aside just for a second and thank our awesome sponsors. We'll come right back, folks.
Hey guys, this is Kevin from KK Woodscapes. Wanted to say how excited we are to be a sponsor for the ASRA Cup Series this upcoming season. This is just some of the pieces we've created over the years. We can work with you and bring any special victory to life. To order, or if you have any questions, please scan the QR code for Instagram or contact me through the Discord. And hopefully, we'll be bringing your virtual victory into reality one day.
All right, race fans, welcome back to Race Day. My name is Steve, and we are here again as usual on a Tuesday night for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series, season number 6. Awesome stuff right now. We're going to be entering into stage number 3. This is the third race left to go before the conclusion of the season in Gateway. Beginning of the round of 8. 8 drivers right now, all of them in lime green on your tower on the left, all going for that championship 4. A lot of guys going for the win today as well to get themselves locked in to that next round. So pretty cool stuff, obviously, as we see. And right now, though, the top 6 all stayed out on that last caution because, or the last stage end, because they pitted about 9 laps beforehand. So everyone else behind them, good stuff. So awesome stuff. At the beginning of stage 3, and right now the sun has risen. A lot of cool stuff on the way now. A whole new challenge is about to happen as the sun rises and blinds them. Here we go. Stage 3 underway. We're back green. Roger Pierce leads us off right here in that number 1 spot. Michael Johnson going to dive down low as well. And look at this. Awesome racing right now. 2 and 3 wide. Oh, off the wall right there. Looks like that was Dunkelberger. Couldn't quite tell. I believe Pont as well. Further back, Bowie having a huge issue here. Not sure what happened here. Might have banged off the wall. I can't really tell. But a yellow flag is out. And man, Brandon Bowie really hurt right here on the right side. I can't see if his wheel is towed in or anything, but let's take a look back real quick. I believe the actual caution was for Jacob Wiest, but I want to see what happened here to Bowie because he looks really slow. We'll go back to that restart real fast. Here we go. So here's the restart. We'll watch Bowie right here in that 23. So he dives in right here. No one's really around him. Oh, yeah, just kind of snaps loose on him on exit. And that'll be it right there. So that, not sure if that's huge damage, but obviously the car is not steering like he wanted to. That's definitely rough. He'll come down pit road. Let's go back to the reason why the yellow flag actually came out. We saw some cars hit the wall right there, Bowie and Dunkelberger, I believe, but that wasn't the actual caution. Let's take a look here. Jacob Wiest, it looks like. Oh, man, got loose right there behind Bowie. Oh, interesting. Kind of oh, there it is. Oh, no. Yeah, just super loose. We'll go back just a little further. I want to see how it actually started. Yeah, so Wiest right now by himself entering turn 3. Oh, wow, just snapped loose on him. Kind of a weird spot to see it snap like that. But yeah, that'll be the caution flag right there. I don't see a ton of damage really on the front end or the right side, so that might be okay, but man, tough. So Bowie on pit road, Weist as well. Frankie Barroso looks like he's on pit road as well. I'm not sure if he had damage in that too, but there he is. Comes down. The car looks clean. I don't see any damages or whatnot. Maybe he just said, you know what, take the tires and off we go. We'll see. Roger Pierce, though, in the front. Everyone will still have to pit not at least once for sure. I do believe, according to my notes. So that is good information. But Pierce, Johnson, Daryl Young, Mealy, and Millerin, you're at top 5. A great top 5 right there. Awesome, awesome stuff. So right now, lap 68, and obviously right now we're seeing the sun starting to rise. There it is. We get camera angles for all of it right now, and cool stuff. We started obviously in the darkness and about 2 a.m. and here we go. Awesome stuff here. Love to see this, but Pierce up front, and I really can't, man, like this right here, you know, as a, how do you say it? I guess as a broadcaster, as a fan of racing, right? I'd love to see what we're seeing right now, right? Pierce, Johnson up front, Daryl Young, Mealy, Millerin, Anderson. These are 6 guys that, man, a win today would be just huge for them. Daryl Young obviously has won before at Talladega in both seasons, but, you know, everyone else, right, would be super cool to see. A feel-good story, right, to win their first race for ASRA, but also, you know, even though it's late in the season, right, they're not really playoff eligible, but it's still going for that milestone, right, of getting your first win. And in a field like this, I'll tell you what, it's just super competitive, and be very cool to see somebody like one of these guys in the top, I mean, really top 6, top 7 to win. So we'll see. Gonna go back green though on lap 70. So we will have about 50 laps to go here to decide this race, and it's going by pretty quick. 10:15 right now on the East Coast, and a good job right now. Big thanks to you folks for being here. We just crossed 700 subs recently, so thanks to you guys for doing that. But here we go, Pierce and Johnson, the front row, as we go back green for the Gatekeeper 150, and we are back green. Everyone going through turns 1 and 2, and there it is, the sun starting to rise above that hill. It's going to be a big storyline as we wrap up this race. Pierce looking very strong right now. Daryl Young on the outside lane of 3 and 4. Anderson going to get charged up here. Smecker, oh my word, hold on to it. Going to be sent around here in a huge wreck out of turn 3 and 4. That was a lot that happened at the same time. Smecker, I believe, and Anderson. I'm not sure if there was some bad blood there. I couldn't quite tell. It looks like they were kind of door banging each other. And that is not good. Let's take a look back real fast. I believe also we may have seen Marshall Harris kill the wall. Yes, he did. Let's take a look back. Already kind of underway, so we'll back it up even further. Even further some more. Lordy. Here we go. Yeah, so they're dooring right there. The purple and the 83. Millerin is kind of diving low to avoid the mess, right? And looks like he might have come across the nose of the 22. And then that's going to send them all around, unfortunately. And a big wreck right there for Smecker. Millerin as well has some front end damage. I don't believe Smecker got the worst of it. I don't think he got hit again. We'll take a look. We'll play it out here. Oh, there's Marshall Harris hitting the wall, trying to avoid it. I mean, yeah, that Gatekeeper 26 machine looks actually pretty clean considering what we just saw it endure, so he might be okay there. Obviously, I'm sure heated over that situation, but not sure why Anderson and him were kind of door banging there, but hey, playoff racing at a short track, that's going to happen. Marshall Harris, though, left front damage pretty significant. The left front tire still seems straight, which is the good news. So he should be okay there. Frankie Barroso still coming down pit road as well. I don't see any damage on his car, though, so I'm not sure what that issue is. But yeah, big mess right there. It just, you know, it's a racing deal, right? I mean, a lot of door banging. Miller really had nowhere to go. He saw them collide and, you know, tried to shoot the middle to avoid it. And things like that can happen, right? So not too bad. But good stuff, obviously. There's the sun kicking up right now above that hill. So turn 2 is going to be pretty wild here in about the next maybe 2 or 3 laps. Gonna get really bright out, obviously. So pretty cool stuff. And again, big thanks to all of our sponsors today. Harpoon Design, Admin Box, man, Gatekeeper today. Awesome stuff. Hosky, always on board with us. And yeah, KK Woodscapes, really great partners. But next week, a little preview is going to be Bristol. Going to be the night race at Bristol here for the ASRA Harpoon Design Cup Series. Going to be the last race before the championship. So that'll be a lot of fun to decide who gets into that championship and who's out. At Homestead Miami Speedway, going to be a lot of fun. Here we go. Choose rule will happen here momentarily. There we go. Right now we are using the start-finish line as that, just because the choose rule right now, or the choose car, excuse me, is out of commission. So that can happen. It's all good. And I keep saying it, right? Like, why? Like, iRacing, please, if you hear this, just put the little choose car or the choose logo on the track. That's all we ask. Just put it on there and we'll take it from there. It's kind of like Uno cards, right? It's like, yeah, thanks for the rules, but we'll take it from here. Roger Pierce, though, up front. Going to go back green here on lap 75. So we are winding this thing down pretty good. So Pierce, Johnson, Young, Mealy, and Lights all in your top 5 right now. A lot of different teams up here as well. So that team championship has yet to be decided. Who's going to get that trophy at the end of the season? A lot is underway here. Here we go. Green flag about to go in the air for lap 75. Here we go. Pierce and Johnson leading the field. And off we go. Gingerly down into turn 1. Looking good right there all the way through turns 1 and 2. And good stuff. Oh, man, Mealy, I believe that is, gets loose right there. Or might have gotten just pushed by Whitley. Couldn't quite tell. And they all send it in 3 wide right now. Uh-oh, Johnson sideways, keeps it going, maybe. Wow, what an unbelievable job there by Johnson to hold on to that car. And Whitley even by sending it in still. 4 wide. Anderson just completely chucks it into the wall there. Oh, Lord. Huge hit right there for Anderson. That might not be good for his car. I hate to laugh, but just the angle of that was low-key kind of funny. But all good. Heartbreak there for Anderson. Had a great run going. But up front, Roger Pierce still holding on to that P1 spot. But keep in mind, Nick Lights has the fresher tires by about 9 laps. Now, but a yellow flag is out. Who is this? Looks like Anderson again. We saw him a second ago have a huge spin out, the back end kicked out and hit the back end of the wall, but this right here, what happened here for Jackson? Oh, it just kind of loses it again, right? And oh, man. Yeah, that's tough to see. Obviously, had the issue half a lap before, and right there getting spun out as well. I'm wondering if that right with the right front. Oh, yeah, you can see the toe out right there. It's towed in pretty bad. So it's not steering right, and that's a huge blow to that car. So tough break for the 83. But what do these drivers do? No one's coming down pit road. Oh, yes, they are. Okay. Roger Pierce comes down, but he might be comfortable now, right? So at this point, if you're on this strategy, you're not coming down pit road unless you know you can make it on fuel, I feel like. So this right here is probably perfect case scenario for Roger Pierce. But look at the guys who didn't pit. Nick Lights did not pit. Bowie did not pit. And Woodruff. Everyone else has come down. Frankie as well staying out. We saw him pitting recently. Weist, after that spin out earlier, also did not pit. So this is going to once again really shake up the atmosphere of this race. Right now, everybody, we expect, again, right, 4 tires and fuel. I don't think we're going to see 2 tire stops just yet, if at all, to be honest, just given the nature of this racetrack. But there they go. But Nick Lights will remain your leader now, followed by Bowie, Woodruff, Barroso, Weist, Millerin. Smecker back there after his issue a little while ago. Kenny Reel, Andrew Phipps, Mealy. So really the top 11 stayed out. About half the field, a little less than half the field, stayed out. Other half came in. So interesting call there. I don't believe Lights and Bowie and all those guys can make it on fuel. So we'll see how that works. But man, really, really close stuff right here. So up front, Nick Light's going to be in P1 once more. But again, everybody right now in about the top 10 or so, top 11 actually, have older tires compared to everyone P12 and down. So far, so good. Lap number 81. We'll go back green here on lap 82. Apologize there for the dead air a little bit. Just communicating with our race control. Tell you what, man. Hey, shout out to Keegan Brown right now. Doing a fantastic job as race control. Our normal race control, Brandon Davis, is not quite here today. Had some prior commitments, so all good. But Keegan doing a kick-ass job today, and we love that. So good stuff. Brandon Davis will be wrapping it up for us in the next 2 races, and then he'll be setting sail. Actually, he's got some cool life stuff going on, and he's a young kid, and we wish him all the best. He's definitely helped us along for sure, and we love him for that. So Keegan might be our guy for next season. Spoiler alert. And based on today, doing a pretty good job. So Awesome stuff. Lap 81, though, going to be green on lap 82, and Nick Lights, Brandon Bowie, going to be your leaders today. Here we go, lap 82, going back green here, and off we go. Nick Lights from the lead right here. Let's jump in real quick. See how he handles this first lap back. We're gonna go Hosky hot lap. And here he is. Comes out of turn 2. You can see that sunset, or the sunrise, excuse me. So used to saying sunset, but man. Getting through, gets a great jump as usual. Gets to fly through pretty loose right there, obviously. 3 and 4. Man, what a great job holding on to that lead and doing a fantastic job. A yellow flag is out once more. We see it in that rear view. Oh boy, that might be a big one right now. Let's go back and take a look. Who did that one involve? Oh lordy. It might have been everybody in the back. Tim Robb we're looking at. Joseph Mealy. I believe maybe Mark Whitley. I really don't see any damage on any of these cars, which is, I mean, obviously great news for them, but Rob looks pretty good. What happened here? Daryl Young. We'll try and solve it. Oh, Pierce got loose. And then Young did the same thing at the same time. Austin Salyers, Rob just kind of stopped and said, you know what? I'm not going to, uh-oh. And there's that. Almost got beached right there. We'll go back a little bit. I think it started here with Roger Pierce. Yeah, just got loose right here. We're seeing the 6 as well up ahead. Got loose. He got into Fleming. I believe Daryl Young going to go around here as well. Salyers. Yeah, just, I mean, it just looks like somebody spilled oil on track. Everyone just kind of went around. But that can happen. Christian Angel, actually some big damage there in the front end. Mealy as well. Going for the spin cycle. Yeah, tough break for a lot of these guys. But again, not a lot of huge damage outside of perhaps Angel right here, but you hate to see it. You really do. Right now, though, under our 8th caution of the day. 2 cautions were for the stages, so we don't really count those, but man, big mess all around right here. In turns 3 and 4, we typically haven't seen today be the issue, right? As far as the track in the loose conditions and things like that, right? So it's usually been turn 2, really. But right now, that is going to be the case. So our 10th caution, 8th for incident, and right now, lap 85. We should go back green here, lap 90 or so, maybe a little less than that. But so far, so good. Seeing a bunch of guys doing pretty stout right here. And there's that sunrise. Gonna get pretty wild. Quick update on a few drivers right now. We're seeing Marshall Harris out of the race, or actually in pit road. Joseph Mealy as well on pit road. Not currently out of the race, but lordy, our scoring tower just went haywire. So we're good to go here. Everyone else still looking pretty solid. Austin Salyers in 21st spot on the lead lap. So top 21 at a minimum are on the lead lap. Everyone else looking pretty decent too. So high above Gateway. Man, this is going to get pretty wild as it always does. These races, I mean, we'll sometimes see green flag runs, right? But at a track like this, I did not expect to see that because they are usually just so wild and they can get pretty intense. But looking at the windshield here of Nick Lights, we'll show you exactly what they're dealing with. Alrighty, and you saw it right there. The sun getting pretty wild. The lights will turn off here pretty soon. Gonna get this thing back underway. Oh, yellow lights go back onto the track, so looks like there's still more to solve here as we're under yellow flag conditions. So getting word from our race control that the server itself is getting pretty wild. So just to clarify real quick, if the session does go down for any reason, whether it be, just the server quality issues or, things like that, the race will be considered official since it is halfway or past the halfway point. So the race results will finish as it closes down. So we'll typically revert back to the standings at the time of when it shuts down, and we'll go from there. But we've never had it happen, but you just never know. You never ever know. But right now, top of the leaderboards here: Nick Lights, Brandon Bowie, Frankie Barroso, Jacob Weist, and Richard Woodruff. Good stuff right now. A lot of these guys having to deal with, obviously, loose conditions as we get going here. There's still shade on the track, but the sun is going to be pretty blinding, so we'll show you that as we get back going. And the green flag will be happening here in just a second. Again, huge thanks to you folks for being here and watching the stream. Always a good time to do this on a Tuesday night. You guys could be doing anything else, but you're here, and we appreciate that. So, cool stuff. Lap 88 will go green on. So we'll be at about 32 laps to go before we end this race. You can see that track, man. It is just sun-baked right now. And here we go. Back green for lap 88. Good stuff right now. They're going to be so careful because the sun, as it rises, right, it's going to be different. The track is going to change rapidly. Seeing Marshall Harris way off pace right here. Keeps it back going. Looks like Woodruff as well. A couple more cars spinning around still. Turns 3 and 4 as well again. Big issues. Kaufman keeps it back going. We stay green. Man, what is going on with 3 and 4? They're going to all try and go through right now. Nick Light still your leader. Bowie and Barroso. Let's see if we can get through turns 3 and 4 clean here. Because, man, it is just either losing grip or it's getting pretty wild. And sometimes the thing is, right, a lot of these guys, they'll dive in deep. And that might not be the right move because of the loose conditions, but we're seeing a move right here. Fleming around. Ponce. That's going to be for P11. Good stuff. And look at this. Mark Whitley, even after all the issues, just keeps finding himself into that top spot. P6 right now, making a move around Weist. Miller will be next here up front. Good stuff right now. Nick Lights, though, leading the pack as usual. He's been the guy to beat today. And I'll tell you what, if he can hold on to this, if the tires and the fuel especially can make it work, that'll be a big win for him. Everyone else, though, fighting right here. Whitley and Millerin. So far, a pretty good battle here. Whitley has that preferred lane, keep in mind, so he'll have it. He'll go around here. Good stuff. Roger Pierce. We'll go gyro cam for Roger. And he's got fresh tires too, keep in mind. So he's right now in P9. That sun, you just saw it peek through. Gonna push it 3 wide right here up against Andrew Phipps. Jacob Weist as well right there. Lap 93, we're seeing, who's this? Blaze Crawford down low to his teammate, Matthew Fleming, in car owner. There he is right now, making a move around for P12. Good stuff right there. We're seeing some movement here as well. Young up against Phipps. Solid job. Kenny Reel getting passed here by a couple drivers. Bowie Esports driver holding on to it. Oh, Roger Pierce, uh-oh. And Matthew Pont doing the same thing out of turn 2, getting loose. That can happen, too much wheel input. And man, Pierce gonna go all the way down right now to P15. That's a heartbreak for him. He was on the way forward. Nicolette's right now in P1, Bowie in second. And these two boys right here, Bowie and Frankie, they have had pretty up and down races, right? I mean, they were started in the back just about, Frankie especially. Didn't get a whole lot of stage points in 1 and 2, but here he is, and here Bowie is doing the same thing right now. So a pretty solid effort right there out of these two to get themselves in position at the end. Look at this too, Smecker and Whitley. At the end of the race, they just turn up, and that's what they're doing right now. Smecker right now and Whitley under fire. They've both had their fair share of bad luck in the race. Whitley has had a couple of spin-outs and involved in one wreck earlier on, and Smecker was involved as well into an issue, but here they both are going for a top 5. Pretty good stuff. Whitley might have him here. Not quite yet, but good stuff. Miller in a P6. That's this. Oh no, Smecker, what happened? We just looked away from him. And way off the pace. I don't know if he got maybe a love tap right there, but what happened to him? Can we go back real quick and find out what happened to Smecker? Let's see if we can find it. Oh, no, he did. Couldn't tell if Smecker got loose and Mark was just right there, or if Mark just pushed the issue and got into him, but that's a huge blow to Smecker right there. Man, oh man. So playoff drivers getting affected, obviously, and right now Lights holding on to that top spot. And earlier, I was concerned. I was like, man, can Nick, make it all the way on fuel? But it looks like he might be able to, unless something else changes here. But we've had yellow flags where they can save fuel and things like that. But man, looking pretty good here for Nick Lights. But Bowie as well, Frankie Barroso, Whitley. Phipps diving down here for Millerin. Comes up just a little bit, but gets around him clean. Looking good right there. Dunkelberger having a great run right now. Again, Dunkelberger entered into the race 11 points down. So he needs to have a good finish today, obviously. Oh, Phipps goes around right here. Man. What happened there, too? Can we find out what happens? Oh, Millerin just comes up a little bit and gets into Phipps. Phipps holds on to it. And we expected to see that, right? We expected to see some aggression. But also some tough conditions, right? We're going to see, we talked about it pre-race, right? Where they dive into the corner, especially 3, I notice. And they get too tight and then they move up the track, right? When they get into that driver alongside of them. So that was the case right there. I don't think that was just aggression from Millerin, but that was definitely an unfortunate move, obviously. But man, tough break. Light still holding on to an 8/10, almost 9/10 of a second lead right here with 19 laps to go. So he is, so far, doing a masterful job. And we're going to ride on board real quick. Take a look around here for a Hosky hot lap. And really a pretty good job. The sun obviously is out. You can see the track a lot better. Downshift into third gear. The sun, bam, right there. Just in your face, in your eyes. Gets it down through the backstretch. Keeps it in fourth. Yes, he does. And dives down right there into turn 3. A little tight right there, it looks like. But rolls through the center pretty well, it looks like. And off he goes. So, man, what a great job right there for Nick Lights, holding on to it. Doing a fantastic job. Can he get his first win of the season today and lock himself into that Championship 4? That would be massive for him and for Murphy Esports. A great team win right there. Can Nick do it? Awesome stuff for Nick Lights. Increases that lead just by a little bit, about 9/10. It's been maintained. Brandon Bowie in P2 has looked pretty quick all race long. He hasn't really had that top speed, but right now he's found himself in that position, right? And track position is always huge. Frankie Barroso, third spot after qualifying pretty bad. Seeing Audrey Pierce fall through the order here. Here he is, way down low. Not sure what happened here for Pierce, but I think he has some left side. Oh man, some big left side damage. Unfortunate there for Pierce. Don't have the ability to go back and look at it, I don't believe, for this particular one. So I apologize for that, but that's a huge upset there for him. Mark Whitley in P4, holding on to that. Great run. Blaze Crawford in P5. Dunkelberger in 6th spot. Solid effort. Millerin having a great run in P7. Fleming, who needs a good run today. Again, 12 points down in the bubble to get into that Championship 4. But right now, looking to get himself into the Championship 4, obviously. But this is a good run. P8's a good run here. That could be what it takes. Weist and Johnson going to round out your top 10. Marshall Harris, quick run through of the drivers in the back. He is 6 laps down, but right now in 25th spot. Mealy is 1 lap down. He is in that free spot position, so he will get it back if we get a yellow. Pierce right now looks like he's back in the pit road after some unfortunate mess right there. Kaufman, Anderson, right there. Woodruff and Angel had some bad luck earlier in today's race, but they keep it going so far. Not bad, not too bad right there for them, but obviously bad luck has happened. Matthew Pont looking pretty good right there, and P18 filling in for Jamie Graham. Again, not quite the race he's wanted, but has held a decent line and not too bad. Always learning. Austin Salyers, pretty beat up car after some spin outs and some into the wall moments. Currently in P17. Daryl Young in 16th spot, recovering pretty well after some early race issues. Tim Robb as well. That car has been all over the place today on the track, and he has held on to it pretty well. P15 so far. Smecker got real loose there earlier, and again, not sure if he got some help there by Mark Whitley, but unfortunate. Currently in 14th spot. Villalobos, after a comeback, is in 13th. He spun out earlier in the race, solo spin, and ever since then he's been moving up front, so good job for him. Same thing with Kenny Reel, just has stayed out of the issues today, and just consistent, right? Getting himself into that spot. Andrew Phipps was in the top 10 a second ago, but got tagged by Millerin, and now trying to fight back to the top 10. Michael Johnson, man, he's been fast today. Was fast earlier, but had some connection issues, unfortunately, and right now in that 10th spot. Weist, a great run thus far. And Fleming, trying to get all the points he can to advance into that Championship 4. Millerin with a fantastic run. This might actually be his best run he's had this whole season. Don't have the stat book in front of me, but I don't think he's had a top 5 this season. But man, right now he is looking very, very good. Very impressive stuff for him. Dunkelberger and Crawford, 2 flagship motorsport drivers, doing pretty good right now, getting their points for the next round of Bristol. Whitley P4, Frankie Barroso. There he is in 3rd spot. Big comeback, didn't qualify well. And right now is your top driver for where they started. Frankie up 20 spots on the day. And where he started 23rd. So great job for him to come back here at the end of this race. Brandon Bowie right now in 2nd spot. He is closing the gap. He's 0.6 off of Nick Light, so he has closed the gap a little bit. But he's got 9 laps to do it. And Nick Light's right here in the lead, has dominated the race today, looking for his first win of the season and also his ticket punched into the championship at Homestead in just 2 races. Nick Light's right here, might be in trouble. He looks pretty slow. We're seeing Bowie really closing the gap now. We have 8 laps to go, folks, but this... Oh, no! A yellow flag! What happened? Jackson Anderson... Lordy. Crab walking that car down the front stretch, and this, folks, will change everything. Oh, my. We'll take a look back. Okay, Anderson and Kaufman here. Looks like they're side by side. Oh, man. Anderson just gets into Kaufman there. I'm not sure if he kind of wiggled out of it. We'll go back real quick and take a look. I think he might have... Let's take a look here. See if Jackson gets loose at all. They're side by side right now, obviously, but... Does the car snap loose at all? We'll watch the wheel here. Oh, yeah, he's counter steering. Yeah, he just kind of snapped loose right there and got into Kaufman, unfortunately, and around we go. So a caution flag right now with 8 laps to go. This is massive. The entire world is coming down pit road, but the top 6 stay out. This is a really interesting call by these guys. But I think it's smart, right? Because everyone else, Mark Whitley, you know, all these guys are going to have fresh tires, and they're going to have fresh tires by a lot, right? So this could be massive for these guys, right? Millerin stayed out, Phipps. But 7th on back all have fresh tires. So if this thing stays green after this restart, which, let's be honest, might not, it can get pretty dicey. Fresh tires against old tires. So this is going to be shaping up to be quite the finish, and obviously, hey, green-white checkers are always pretty fun. But I like the move by Nick right here, right? And I like it for a couple of reasons, because he's in that first spot, right? He's going to be able to get the best restart out of anybody. He'll get a good jump. So when you do that, you know, can Bowie catch him in 2 laps? I don't know. You know, that's going to be tough. But again, if we keep getting green-white finishes, and we only get 3, keep in mind, being in that number 1 spot is the best spot to be in. So I like this move by not coming down pit road, just because of, hey, if we go yellow after yellow after yellow, he's in the best spot to do it. You know, Bowie, Frankie, they're going to have a shot here potentially to try and steal this win. They have the speed, obviously. Bowie and Frankie, you know, both equally very good here. So they have a chance, I think, to get it done. They're going to have this thing go green, though. They definitely can't have it be, you know, yellow after yellow after yellow, because I don't think they're going to get a good enough restart alongside Nick to get that job done. So we'll see, though. But a lot can happen. Jacob Weist right here in P4. Millerin up front as well. And these guys didn't pit right here, keep in mind. So they're going to have much older tires than Mark Whitley, who's in P7. Everyone behind Whitley has the fresh tires. So Whitley and everybody behind him definitely expect and want this race to go green the entire way. We're going to have 3 laps here to get this thing decided. It's not quite a natural green-white checkered finish, but it will be 3 laps to go. If a yellow flag does come out before the white flag, we will go to our first green-white checkered attempt. So a lot can happen here. Who will win this race? A couple of big names right here that can get it done. Nick Light's obviously trying to get himself into that next round. The championship 4. Frankie Barroso, not a big fan of Gateway or Bristol, so he needs to get himself a win here potentially. Brandon Bowie, though, hey, he's been here before. Season 3 champion. Never count out Brandon Bowie. Here we go. 3 laps to go here for the Gatekeeper 150. Will we see some late race dramatics? Will we see a first-time winner? A lot can happen. Here we go. Brandon Bowie has a fantastic restart up against Nick Lights. Can he get through? Nick Lights has the preferred lane, obviously. Gonna get a good jump right here. Bowie not gonna get to him just yet. Further on back, some 2 and 3 wide just about. Uh-oh, Phipps and Johnson teammates collide. That's not gonna be a yellow flag. Bowie way up high right there. He's trying to do what he can. I don't know if he missed the corner there or tried to diamond it, but that was not the move. Nick Light's going to try and make a move here. Whitley with the 4 fresh tires, absolutely flying through the field. 2 laps to go right now. Can Whitley steal a win? Oh boy, hold on to her. Tried a little too hard, and that's going to be a yellow flag right there. And behind as well. Kenny Reel, huge wreck. Kaufman just sends it into the wall right there. Oh no. And just like that, holy, that is not what Mark Whitley wanted, especially to try and get himself into the next round. And look at this, Kenny Reel. Crab walking down back to the pits. Whitley had the fresh tires, but man, he was pushing it ultra hard. And I understand why, right? He has the fresh tires. He has a huge advantage. But man, just sent it in a little too much. Let's go back and take a look here at what happened. And a lot of things went down right here. We'll start it off with Mark Whitley. Yeah, got loose right there. Weiss got back around. Oh no, Daryl Young almost flips her around again. Into the back. We'll go back a little bit. We'll watch out for Daryl Young here. We'll take a look at him. Yeah, Kenny Reel at the same time looks like goes around. A bunch of these guys just get together. We'll go back and watch out for Kaufman right here. He also gets... Oh, he got tagged right there by Angel. And that kind of finished him off. But yeah, just a super, super tough situation right there. A couple drivers. I do want to check out Kenny Reel real fast. He got, I think, loose by himself. Yeah, so just simultaneously, a lot went down. Teammates right there. Whitley and Daryl Young got together. Woo! You can tell it's playoff time because it is getting pretty heated, obviously. Everyone trying to do what they can. Fresh tires against old tires. We knew that would be pretty wild. Hey, there he is, Josh Larson in the chat. Yeah, all good, man. I know how much you like this track, so tough to see you not here, but all good, dude. We'll catch you next week Always a good time, man. But so far, so good. A pretty wild race, obviously. Before these yellows at the end started to come, man, Nick Lights was, leading, but Bowie was right there. He was catching him. And Frankie right there as well. So, but look at this. Look at the drivers up front now. Millerin, 4th place. Matthew Fleming in P5. Tell you what, the fortune for these guys are definitely hitting, and that's a great run for Fleming, for Dunkelberger. Big stuff right here, so. But this will be our first attempt at a green and white checker. So what this means for, if you're a new race fan, all that means really is that we're going to go green here, right? We're going to restart the race, but if a yellow comes out before the white flag, we'll re-rack them up, and we'll try it one more time. We get 3 of those. But if we go back green and the leader takes the white flag, the next flag will end it, meaning we will race it back to the line for the checkered, and that'll be the end. If we get a 4th caution after our 3rd attempt, the field will freeze at the time of yellow, and the race will end under yellow flag when they come across for the checkered. So they get 3 attempts, and this right here is why I liked the move by Lights to not pit right there, right? To get the fresh tires. Whitley obviously was flying through the field, and that's obviously pretty huge, but he had, he sent it too hard, right? Let's just call it what it is. Sent it too hard, spun himself out, and that's essentially ending his race. But Nick Lights is right here in that spot, right? So what can he do? Can he create that gap enough to hold off Bowie, hold off Barroso and Millerin? A lot can happen here. Nick Lights looking to get his first win of the season, but also his ticket punched into the championship. Anybody in green on the left side of your screen, if they win this race today, they are automatically at Homestead. Millerin looking for his first win ever in the ASRA Cup Series. Looking pretty good today, a career run. Awesome stuff. But a lot of these guys, too, keep in mind, they have fresh tires. Fleming, I believe. Dunkelberger, Blaze Crawford. A lot can still happen in 2 laps. We're going to find out real quick how this thing ends. My heart's racing. I know that. Going to be a good race right now. The end of Gateway, the Gatekeeper 150. Let's see how this thing ends for our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Pace car turns left, and off we go. Nick Lights and Brandon Bowie. Can Bowie time the restart as well as he did the first time a couple laps ago? Off we go. Not as good for Bowie. Nick Lights going to be diving down here for turns 1 and 2. Our first attempt. Gets through the 3 wide in the back right now. We're seeing 2 wide in the back. Nick Lights still looking pretty strong right here. Teammates, Bowie and Frankie going to be side by side. Fleming right there. You see how fast he is. He has the fresh tires. Millerin in Fleming. 4 wide just about. That's not going to be enough. Nick Lights going to be taking the white flag here. The race is official. One more time around for Nick Lights. Further on back, Bowie in second, Crawford third. A couple guys falling back a little bit based on the tires. Everyone keeps it straight. Fleming goes around right here. Oh no, huge wreck in the backstretch. That's heartbreaking for the points for Fleming and all them, but Nick Lights comes around 3 and 4, and the drought is over. Nick Lights in the Hosky.io machine will win today for the Gatekeeper 150 and advance himself into the ASRA Championship 4 at Homestead. Unbelievable job for Nick Lights to get this thing done. Man, what an awesome job. You talk about a Hosky hot lap, and that white flag, really those last 2 laps were the hottest of them. What an awesome job there for Nick Lights to get that job done. P2, out of nowhere, was Blaze Crawford. Again, on the fresh tires. What an awesome run. Brandon Bowie, super solid run in P3. Frankie finishes 4th. Dunkelberger in P5. Tim Robb 6th. Villalobos 7th. Angel 8th. Jackson Anderson 9th. Joseph Mealy, top 10. But there he is. What an incredible run for Nick Lights. The first driver to punch himself into the Championship 4, and it's Nick Lights. Awesome, awesome job at Hosky and Cardano Machine. Got it done today. The first win of the season, and gets it done right when he needed it. Kind of a Ryan Blaney moment for Nick Lights right here. Will this set himself up to get his first championship? We will find out. We're going to come back in just a second, folks. We'll talk to your top 3. We'll come right back.
Fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Husky, fancy like Doggy bowl empty, Lakers pool sleeping, rug pull, cash grab, NFTs delight, rug pull, cash grab, idiot.
All right, welcome back, folks, to the conclusion of the Gatekeeper 150 here from Gateway. And man, what an awesome race we just saw. We're going to bring in your top 3, obviously, as we always do. We'll bring in Brandon Bowie to start off. Finished in P3. Let's get him down here real quick. Hey, here he is, Brandon Bowie, man. What a great run for you today. Obviously, you timed that second to last restart beautifully, and I thought, man, game on right now. And that second one just couldn't quite get it, obviously. But man, great run, P3. That's what you need, obviously, at a tough track like this with Bristol next, man. Talk to us about your race.
Yeah, I mean, this was kind of an up and down day. Just trying to manage the points and understanding that, you know, win isn't everything. I mean, win would be nice, but, you know, just trying to gain as many stage points, but, you know, kind of messed up there at the beginning, spun. Had to work my tail off to get back to at least the top 10, so I did that. And then stage 2, you got some really, really good points there too. So it was just really just all about just being there. And if I can avoid the carnage, which was there was tons of it. You know, if I can avoid that and kind of just stay in the top 5, then I can just take my points and go on to the next race, which is I don't even talk about that right now because that's a pretty bad race for me. But if I can, you know, take anything from the race, and that's just, like I said, a good points day. We take our points and go into next week and try to see if we can do it again.
Yes, sir, man. Awesome job again, as usual. P3 for you. Hey, real quick, just shout out your sponsors, friends, and family. What you got for us?
Yeah, gotta thank Bowie Esports, as usual. My guys do a hell of a job, you know, week in and week out, just trying to get prepared for the race. A lot of carnage, so unfortunately didn't get a lot of cars that finished very well, but we showed a lot of speed, so that was good to see. I gotta thank the family, of course. Gotta thank you for broadcasting. Gotta thank you for also being the league holder. And I think that's about it.
Hey, awesome job, man. Again, we'll catch you next week in Bristol. Should be a lot of fun.
All right, see it.
All right, there he is, Brandon Bowie with the top 3. Always solid, always fast. The P2, though, Blaze Crawford, man. Holy, here he is, Blaze Crawford, right now, just on an absolute hot streak, I feel like, all playoff long, ever since the All-Star race, man. You've been just on another level. And right there, it looks like you were on that those fresh tires, so got to get to P2, man. Talk to us about your race and What's your mindset going into next week at Bristol?
Yeah, it was definitely an up and down race. I didn't make the mistake of messing myself up in qualifying this weekend. Usually I set up for the second lap and kind of just use that first lap as kind of a scratch lap to set up to maybe get the pole, but today I just decided I'd take it easy, put down a good lap in the first one, and if I had a better lap on the second one, you know, maybe I'd get the pole, but qualified 7th because I messed up, of course, in that second lap. But man, I just couldn't get away from the carnage tonight. Ran into a couple people in these wrecks, everyone's just dying, and then got the too many stalls on exit penalty like twice tonight because I can't wire myself to know to do that. So I definitely got burned on that. Definitely a lot of mistakes that I can't make come championship 4, assuming we make it. So definitely a lot of learning, and I need gonna be relying on my teammates to help me remember just the penalties are my biggest enemy in this series, it feels like so far.
Yeah, I mean, you entered this race right at 7 points above the cutoff line, so you're doing pretty good. Obviously, a P2 today obviously helps that, and then stage points if you got them. I can't recall right now, but I mean, so obviously a good points day for you. Bristol next week can always go one of two ways, right? Either really well or really bad, so that'll be pretty fun. But hey, man, give us a shout out to your sponsors real quick. Any friends and family? What you got for us?
Oh yeah, I just gotta keep a level head going into Bristol and just do the same thing I did tonight, minus the penalties, just kind of mind my own business and just kind of pick my spots to the field. But I can't thank all my family enough for watching. It's always awesome for them to watch every week. My Pat, my girlfriend, my mom, dad, all of them. So much appreciated to have an awesome broadcast, and shout out to Flagship Motors, the good old Flag Motors. They were pretty fast tonight. And hopefully we can get Ryan and Matt into the Final Four with me. That'd be pretty cool. So we're gonna go work hard and show up at Bristol and hopefully win that thing.
Yes, sir, man. Hey, awesome job again as usual. We'll catch you next week. Awesome job.
I appreciate it, man.
There he is, Blaze Crawford. But right now we're gonna bring in your winner. Man, oh man! After a long streak, it is over. Where the hell is Nick Lights? Here he is. There he is, Nick Lights, the winner today of the Gatekeeper 150. Man, you finally broke through. The streak is over, and you're in the championship 4 at Homestead, man. How's it feel, dude?
Finally, so awesome. I'm so excited right now. It's been forever since I've been back to Victory Lane, and we did it today, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. The race obviously was pretty interesting, and I like the call that you made at the end, right? Because I feel like a lot of those guys took the tires, which might have been a great move. Whitley was obviously super fast. Blaze right behind you was really fast too on the fresh tires, and that might have been the move if it stayed green right there in that 3 or 4 laps, but it didn't. And you made that defensive call to say, you know what? You've been in this league long enough to know where, hey, if yellow happens late, that number 1 spot, you get the great restart, the great jump, and then off you go. So, and you got that done today, man. So really, really cool stuff. Talk to us about the whole, dynamic between the sun, rising in stage 3. Did that change the car? I feel like we saw a lot of slide outs or spin outs in 3 and 4 as if somebody dropped oil. Like, what was the reason behind that, you think?
Yeah, I think, once the morning sun came up and burned the morning off the racetrack, it was just completely different getting into 3. It was just so sideways. I know, like, restart, we'd go into 3 and it'd be so loose from up under you. It was weird with that. It was a cool dynamic, though, to go from night to day, because, the transition of the racetrack was a big factor in it all.
Yes, sir, man. Just something different, something fun, obviously, for the fans. But, hey, you get to go to Bristol next week and not worry about a damn thing. So pretty cool right there, obviously. And next week, or 2 weeks, actually, at Homestead, going to go for that championship, man. An awesome, awesome job. Real quick, shout out your sponsors and friends and family. What you got for us?
Yeah, shout out to Hotski, Cardano, Boone Pool for all they do. I'm excited to get them back to Victory Lane. I know those guys are probably jumping up and down right now watching this race, so shout out to them. A shout out to you for putting this league on, and Murphy Esports and everybody watching right now. Excited to go to Homestead locked in, not have to worry about anything in Bristol next week. So we're going for a championship.
That's right, man. Awesome job. Hey, go and celebrate, dude. We'll see you next week at Bristol. Awesome job, dude.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Love you, Steve.
Always a riot, Nick Lights. Man, what a good job for him. Finishes in P1, biggest win maybe of his career here. We'll see. Going to be entered into that Homestead race as a contender for the championship. 1 down, 3 to go. Who will lock themselves in next week in Bristol? A lot can happen there, as you, I'm sure, already know. But there he is, Nick Lights, your winner today. And man, Gateway has always proven to be a tough one, right? We've seen races here be pretty wild, a lot of cautions and things like that, and we saw some today, right? But hey, tough racing, playoff time, and a lot of desperation, people trying to get points and things like that. But overall, an awesome job. Your top 10: Lights, Crawford, Bowie, Barroso, Dunkelberger, Rob, Villalobos, Angel, Anderson, and Mealy. Awesome job for all of them. Big thanks to you folks for being here. Big thanks also, shout out to Keegan Brown, in the chat actually as well. So for race controlling tonight, awesome stuff, and really impressed by him. So good stuff there. And hey, this Thursday we'll be back on race day at the Extreme Graphics Next Gen Series at 8 p.m. Come back as usual next Monday and Tuesday for Nora Truck Series, and back here on Tuesday for the ASRA Cup Series. Second to last race, the penultimate race of the season at Bristol. For race day, folks, my name is Steve. Have a good night, a great evening. We'll see you in a couple days. Have a good night. We love you.